Hello everyone! Welcome to a new series that I like to call Derp Discusses. We're going to be talking about things that are like either dear to my heart or just things that I want to talk about. You know, things that might be interesting to you guys. Like, for example, in this case, we're going to be talking about YouTube. And I will just have to take a minute or... I don't know, I'm hearing myself and it's sort of annoying, so give me a second and I'll be right back. And it should be fixed now. Yep, there we go. I can finally speak without having to listen to myself, which is a bonus, I'd say, but it's still... Anyway, on to the topic of this video. We're going to be talking about the ins and outs of YouTube, things behind the scenes, etc. Like how long does it take me to make videos, etc. Sort of a unofficial 100k views video celebration-esque sort of thing. We've got some Rocket League in the background. And later on in the video we also have some IL-2 Battle of Stalingrad, which is a World War II flight sim. Only playing on realistic settings and I'm quite rusty. So no spoilers about how that is gonna go. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about things like, I don't know, ad revenue, finances, that sort of thing. What it takes to keep the channel going. If that's not your jam, you can skip ahead if you're really curious about Battle of Stalingrad, or you can just stop watching the video. Don't say you haven't been warned. This is not going to be looking at things that I usually talk about in videos. And I try to keep videos like Let's Plays, etc. and things like this mostly separate because it's about the fun of playing games, not about making money or anything. But having said that, money is quite helpful to have. Lovely little goal there where we tap the opponent into the ball, into the goal. But yeah, speaking of money, we might as well tackle that one right away. I'm spending like 40 hours per week right now on YouTube videos and on Twitch streaming, especially last week and this week when we have a bonus stream on Saturday with Enter Elysium multiplayer Hearts of Iron 4. I'll be streaming my point of view again tomorrow, and that leads me to the point, it's not like, I'm probably gonna have to cut down the amount of hours at some point. Not anywhere in the near future, but as it stands, I don't have a job. I'll be completely honest about that. And, well, I'm spending like 40 hours per week on YouTube right now. And Twitch. That amount of hours might go up if I get more subscribers, because I'll be more motivated to put more time into things like editing and making sure that I have plenty of gameplay behind the scenes so that the videos are actually interesting, like from the depths. That takes up a massive amount of time for building, etc. And I'll be honest, it sometimes stresses me out a little bit, but it's still fun. It's still fun when you have moments like you're standing on a wing that's flying at 80 meters per second. You just smoothly jump onto a flying moray and just be like, yeah, what about it? You know, that sort of thing. It's still a great game to play, and I'm glad that the update video has been doing quite well. I say quite well, it's been blowing like everything else out of the water. It's amazing to watch. Seriously, thank you all for watching and just sticking around, etc. But you know, things like that take a lot of time. I had the patch notes, I had them up in a second screen. I've been doing some looking in before, so... And I was already like preparing the video for that I was otherwise gonna do, which was me finishing like the battleship and then taking it out into battle. Or rather the Dreadnought. I'm still working on like solving that, but I also want to play things for fun. In the meanwhile, you know, I'm spending like 40 hours on this, so I hope you guys understand that sometimes, you know, I want to play something for myself instead of from the depths. Anyway, back to the more cheerful topic. The amount of time that a video actually takes can be quite surprising. Say, for example, we've got a 30-minute Kerbal Space Program video. Or, yeah, let's look at Kerbal first, and then we'll take a look at From the Depths, which is a bit of a different case. Let's look at Kerbal. For example, if we go to orbits and there's just no cutting, nothing happening. It takes like 30 minutes to record the episode. It might take me a bit longer to actually get started to doing the recording, but once I start recording, it generally takes like 30 minutes, unless I do things off camera. For example, getting into orbit might take a couple of minutes, or doing a maneuver, or just time warping like that, things like that. That might take a couple of minutes, so you're looking at like 30, 45 minutes per Kerbal video of gameplay that I actually end up doing. Then you have to take into account that there's things like editing. So, for example, we'll take the cheap route. We'll say it's like 5 minutes of editing because we're on the dark side of Kerbin. So we had to turn up the light a little bit, you know, make sure that people on YouTube can actually see what's happening. So we're looking at like 5 minutes of editing, then it's like 30 minutes of rendering. Then we have like 30-ish minutes, a little bit rounded up, just for the security, because it sometimes takes a little bit longer. But yeah, 30 minutes of uploading, then we have 30 minutes of processing on YouTube itself. Then it takes an unknown amount of time, like we'll add in like 10 minutes or something, to actually process from 95% to full, which is annoying. It does that from time to time, so the figure isn't actually accurate. So we have 30 to 45 minutes of gameplay. We've got 5 minutes of editing, then like half an hour rendering, which already takes us up, if we're taking like the 45-minute guess, we're already up at like 1 hour 20 minutes. Then we have to spend 30 minutes uploading it, 30 minutes processing it, so that's another hour. We're at 2 hours 20 minutes here. And then the 10 minutes to actually finish like the processing, etc. And in the meanwhile, I've done things like set the thumbnail and description, type in things like tags, etc. Maybe annotations. So that's like nearly 2.5 hours for one video. And then multiply that, because we've got 2 videos coming out per day, so that would be, well, if we're going with nothing but Kerbal videos, say it's a Kerbal heavy week or something, or just taking this as our estimate for like the average video, we'd be looking at 5 hours per day. 5 times 8 is 40. And given that From the Depths takes a little bit more time, it's quite easy to get to that figure. Especially when you count in things like Hearts of Iron, and we're not even talking about Twitch yet, so we've got nearly 40 hours that is just YouTube. And sadly, we barely lost the Rocket League video, the Rocket League match. 4v1 unfair AI. I did pretty well, but it's an endurance race, and no matter how well we do in the first minute or so, you have to play out the entire game. Now, on to IL-2 Battle of Stalingrad. We are playing as the Germans in a Focke-Wulf 190. Our mission is to take out some bombers. I'm looking at the instrument panel right now. I'm trying to familiarize myself with like where the altitude meter is, so I can see how high I am. I want to see where my speed is. And because I literally bought this plane in the Steam sale, and this is the first time properly flying it, I was unaware that the tail wheel was not unlocked. So basically, I'm trying to compensate for like wind going along the plane, and it's like, oh, we're locking your tail wheel now. So I was oversteering with my tail wheel and I ended up spinning out. So with my dignity already shattered, it is time to get this baby off the runway. There we go, locking tail wheel again. I never actually touched the controls for the tail wheel, but apparently that's done automatically on the Focke-Wulf, and it screwed me over. I was contemplating like restarting, but there wasn't really a button for that, so we got off the ground, and there we go. We're gonna be flying the entire match. I say match, it's just a campaign mission against AI. We're gonna be flying the entire time from the perspective of first person. So we're literally sitting in the cockpit ourselves, looking back now. We've got some navigation lights on our remaining flight of buddies. They're about to take off, which will be excellent. I'm using Track IR to look around. It's pretty fun. It's pretty immersive as well. It's not VR immersive, but it's sort of the in-between step. I can just look around, and I've got something attached to my head that sounds like IR signals through a sensor that's on top of my computer, and then I can look around, and we can zoom in. We can see the planes have just taken off. You can just see, like, we're playing on expert mode. No like indicators for friends or enemies or anything like that. We can press like a certain button and look at the map, but that's about it. That's the only cheating I can do. And I do it a few times just to make sure that we can actually find the enemy. I haven't actually played in a while, so I'm a bit rusty, which will become apparent when we get into the fight. But yeah, enough about IL-2. Let's get back to the actual discussion which we're all here for. The YouTube and time, etc. So we've already got like nearly 40 hours of just making a video, recording it, and then rendering it, uploading it. That doesn't even take into account any failed like things to record. Like if something goes wrong, I'll have to do that again. That takes more time. And uploading might also go wrong. It might just... YouTube might screw it up, or it might keep hanging and I'll have to restart it, which is more time lost, you know? It's easy to get up to 40 hours that way. And then from the depths, when you do a lot of building off camera, you do a lot of fighting off camera, etc. It's really easy to be spending 40 hours on just YouTube. And then there's Twitch. Like, we've got a 2-hour stream on Tuesday, we've got a 4-hour stream on Friday, and for a couple of weeks we'll have a bonus stream of like 3 hours at Saturday. So for those of you keeping count, that's 9 hours. And that doesn't include like pre-stream hanging out, which is generally like 10 or 20 minutes. If I have the time and like set everything up perfectly. But I'll be keeping like an hour free where I don't have to do anything. So it's like I'm eating my dinner or something. I'm just watching some videos myself an hour before the stream starts. Just to make sure to relax and not over-stress or anything. It can definitely be stressful having to do all that and YouTube. In the meanwhile, I might still be rendering a video shortly before the stream. I've even uploaded some videos during the pre-stream occasionally, which did lead into some dropped frames, but nothing too major. It's good. It never really bothered the entire stream itself. But yeah, that's nearly 50 hours. The estimate is just going up. And that's just with 2 videos per day. I'm not planning on doing more than 2 videos per day for a long time. But yeah, there we go. That is nearly 50 hours of content making and trying to provide people entertainment in a week. It's fun, don't get me wrong, but moving on to things like finances. It doesn't actually pay all that well. Like, I'm taking a look at my overview right now for the last 28 days. I've had 16,243 views, which is mind-blowing. That's more than I ever expected to have. That means 16,000 people have clicked on any of my videos. Total watch time is 121,800 minutes, aka 84 days and 13 hours. Which again, I can't even, it's just amazing. That's so high that I never expected any of that. But for all of that, the money that I actually earned with it, I haven't earned a cent off of YouTube yet. When I look at my revenue, it's telling me, yeah, your estimated revenue is like $21, which isn't all that high. I've done the math. I've got like, if I click at revenue, there's a lot of things you can see. I can actually look at like ad rates, and then estimated monetized playbacks is like 2,700. So 2,700 people have actually gotten to watch an ad out of those 16,000 people. And that gave me a tiny fragment of money. We can do the math for like effective CPM, because CPM is basically effective like money that you get per mil clicks, per 1,000 clicks. So just taking these numbers here, we've got nearly 2,700 people actually watch an ad. I earned, according to YouTube, after the whole split was taken, etc., I get to keep like $21. I think the effective rate is like 80 cents or something. Now the actual CPM might be higher, but nearly half of that is going to YouTube, so I don't see any of that. There's also things like YouTube Red, but since I'm a tiny channel with not a lot of people watching who have YouTube Red, my YouTube Red revenue is like, yeah, barely below $1. Now again, YouTube Red might be a good thing, and I'm not saying it's gonna be a bad thing, but I'm not seeing a whole lot of it right now. It might get better if my viewership gets larger, but I don't think like YouTube Red is gonna be a large source of income for me for a good long while. Which is fair, you know? There's a lot bigger channels, a lot better channels that have like longer videos, etc. And of course longer videos are biased in the YouTube Red system, because if you watch like 10 2-minute videos of someone, an animator for example, that's cool. But if you then watch like a single video that is like an hour long of someone else, he's gonna get more money than the guy that you watch 10 videos for. So it's biased towards longer videos, which, I mean, I've got like, I tend to keep like 30-minute-ish videos, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. So it's not the worst. I'll probably like get a benefit from it, especially when YouTube Red. Let's keep in mind, YouTube Red, a lot of people are already reporting like increased like revenue because of it. And I'm probably at the point where I can safely say that, yeah, I've earned more money from my YouTube Red watchers than I probably would have if they didn't have YouTube Red, which is nice. But it's not a substantial amount for me yet. But let's keep in mind, it's still only like in the US. If it expands and like becomes a global thing, and YouTube Red is actually worthwhile instead of Twitch Turbo, sorry Twitch, but as a value proposition, YouTube Red is way better because it actually supports creators. Twitch Turbo doesn't. It only gives like creators the 0.1 cents that they would have gotten if you watch an ad. And Twitch gets all the money because of it. So, you know, YouTube Red's a good value proposition. I mean, I'd probably recommend it, although I haven't actually used it myself, so I'm not going to, but it seems like a solid deal, from what I can tell. Well, that was a major sidetrack. Anyway, yeah, money. YouTube Red, it's a thing, but I'm actually not earning a lot of money because of it, and I haven't even been paid yet. Like, AdSense only pays out above a certain amount. We're at like, I don't know, I need to get to like 70 euros worth before I actually get paid, which might be in a month or two if this keeps up. But I haven't actually seen a cent off of YouTube yet. I have gotten some very generous people who donated on Twitch via stream tip, and hopefully in the future bits, although I don't think Twitch will be rolling it out for smaller streamers, which is very unfortunate. And they're also not talking about the cut, but rambling about bits will be another time. For now, let's just keep focused on the finances. Like, I've had some very generous people donate via stream tip, which actually helped me out because, well, again, finances. I'm talking to you right now through a Rode Podcaster, which I bought with like a stand and a good pop filter, so you can't actually hear me blowing in the microphone when I'm sort of talking directly at it instead of trying to focus on the game. Solid investment, very good for the channel, etc. But it's 230 euros for that, you know? Oh, looks like we found the enemies. Back to the game for a little minute. We've just gotten word from our observation post down below. Enemy bombers have been spotted at 11 o'clock. Now, unfortunately, this dogfight is going to be a bit of a fumble. I do end up finding a... I think it's a Yak? A Yak 1, Series 69 or something, but I don't fire my guns in anger in this first engagement. I do find their bomber formation right there. You can see the dot. And I'm turning in. I've set the engine to emergency mode to quickly go as fast as possible. We can't go on emergency mode for a long time, but yeah, there's the bomber formation. Unfortunately, as I said, I don't actually get guns on any of the bombers. I go chasing fairy tales. Again, I'm a little rusty at the game. But yeah, back to things like expenses. The Rode Podcaster and things was 230 euros. That's fine. Like, I want to make the channel a thing. I want to keep it going. I want to provide good quality stuff and audio and things like that. So, of course, I'm going to be investing in good things. I might invest in a good webcam later for a face cam if people are interested in that. And here we go. I think I just saw one of my friends go through, another fucker wolf, and I end up chasing him. Or that, no, we're about to go into a half loop. There we go. And I identify him as a Russian fighter. There we go. So we're now diving in. We'll be trying to chase him and go nowhere eventually. Yeah, I've also bought a second monitor, which was pretty expensive. When I first started out, I bought myself a Logitech G35, which recently nearly, basically broke. And there's that Russian fighter again, flying by. I do love track IR and things like this. Sorry for the sidetrack again. I just like playing this game, looking at it, etc. It's difficult as all hell, but it's fun. I might put it up on the channel if people are interested. But yeah. Second monitor, Rode Podcaster, Logitech headset, which also was like €100. Unfortunately, it broke quite quickly. I never have any luck with like headsets or anything, but that one, I sort of expected it to last a little longer. But it did force me. Well, I won't say it forced me to, but it got me to think about a better microphone. And then someone was generous enough to donate $100, which blew me away. Which basically convinced me to get the Podcaster, because we might as well invest in some proper quality, am I right? So that's how the Rode Podcaster came into being. But yeah, that's a lot of expenses, and without the generous people donating via StreamTip, I would not be able to keep this up. YouTube's not paying me yet. They might, in a month or two. We'll have to wait and see, I suppose, but yeah. I'm not earning any money. Which, I don't mean to sound like a money-hungry bastard, but it's less than ideal. I spend a lot of time and I put in a lot of effort, and it's a lot of fun, don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to make you guys aware that there might be a point in time where I have to actually go out and get a job to help my dad pay the bills. And here we have one of our friends diving in on a Russian fighter, although, yep, I spent some time looking at him. I see the Balkenkreuz on his wings, which is basically that marker over there, which basically indicates this guy's a German. He's a good guy, don't shoot him. And we go after the Russian over there with his smoke trail, which means he's already been hit and is probably leaking fuel. Or his engine is damaged. But I think, judging by the color, he's leaking fuel. Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to make you guys aware that there might be a point in time where I have to cut back the amount of time I spend on YouTube, and I'm probably gonna... Yeah, I might not be able to keep From the Depths up if I have to get a job and like spend time working and come home tired, that sort of thing. There's gonna be a lot less content at that point. Yep, there we go. We can see it's a yak. We have identified him as a Russian, so we're gonna be trying to keep firing at him. And I actually mess up here and I spin out of control because we're flying on very realistic settings and with a joystick, etc. I actually messed up and we're now in a flat spin. About this time I point the nose down, there we go, and we have control once more. And the lag, it was a yak, it wasn't a lag. It wasn't a yak, it was a lag 3, series 29, there we go. He went down, and now we have nobody to shoot at, so I check the map, we see an enemy somewhere over there, excellent, we'll go over there. And try not to shoot our friends down in the meanwhile. Yeah, like I keep trying to say, there's gonna be a time, probably, that I have to cut down the amount of time I put into YouTube and Twitch to actually earn some money to make sure that we can keep living in this house, etc. Although, there are alternatives, like, for example, if I get more viewers, I'd be able to get more ad revenue and hopefully get more consistent payouts from YouTube, which would be nice. It would definitely help me like maintain this and make sure that I have good quality stuff for you guys. I don't have a lot of expenses right now, which is the benefit of living at home, but I do want to make sure that we actually stay living here instead of getting kicked out because we don't have enough money or things like that, you know? Unfortunately, I can't provide you guys all the entertainment that I am right now, while also living for free. It would be a very nice world, but unfortunately, last time we tried communism, it didn't work out all that well. But like I said, there are alternatives, like for example, if my viewership goes up, which it probably will if I just keep up the quality content, and I'm trying. Hope you guys can see that, and the channel has been growing amazingly. We recently had a glitch where we lost like 22 subscribers, which was like a YouTube-wide thing. Enter Elysium lost like 6,000 subs. I know some other people lost Nerd Cube, for example, had like 2.5 million subs. He lost like 60,000. So I'm quite lucky to already be back at like pre-glitch level, so to say. We went up like 20 subscribers in the last 2 or 3 days. It's just amazing. And I appreciate that you guys are sticking around for the content. We are flying above an enemy airfield right now, which this is roughly the point in time where I realized that. I'm like, oh crap. They're shooting at us with flak guns. And the aircraft stuff, you know, that's all the puffs in the air. But they're gonna be landing. You can see those lights over there in the middle window. That's someone who's turning on his navigation lights to land. So that's a Russian. You know what we've got to do with filthy Russians flying around? We've got to shoot him down. So we're going to be flying towards him. Also, another alternative to actually earning some money would be if the channel grows large enough, like for example 1,000 subscribers or something, I might consider going to Patreon, which would be a crowdfunding website where you can support me via a monthly payment or per video, but I'm going to be doing a monthly plan. There we go, we have hit the bomber, excellent. Yeah, I'm thinking about like going Patreon, and the more generous people among you could be able to, you know, support the channel and make sure that I can keep the quality videos coming. All videos are going to be free, of course. I'm not going to force anyone, but it would definitely help if... Oh, there we go. Another nice hit on his wing. He is leaking fuel. We damaged one of his engines. Yeah, Patreon, I'd be able to get you guys like rewards, like for example, I don't know, I'm just saying something hyperbolic here. You could have your name appear in a YouTube series, which is a thing that I do with Twitch with people who tip me on Twitch. You know, via stream tip, they can request their name in a game. Like for example, we had a Rimworld playthrough where we had some people running around and then getting blown to bits, and it was so more engaging for those people because they had their name in there. And they were happy to send me like a couple of dollars to help me out, you know, to keep this up, keep this going. So yeah, I'd probably do a tier where you can get your name in the game, or at least in a playthrough. For example, if you go high enough, I might send you a t-shirt or something. You know, that sort of thing. Just backer rewards. And of course, if I ever go Patreon, I will like put a video up and ask like, hey, what is the thing that you guys want to see? Watch this, this is beautiful. We're now flying up, we're basically killing all our speed. Now we're going in a looping, and we're gonna come right back on him. There we go. I think this is actually the moment where he goes down, and we shoot him down, and we kill him. Yep, we're coming in. Beautiful, beautiful. He's in our sights now. There's no way he's going to get out of this. Land some hits. He's already going down. Some more hits. And this is a beautiful shot. Look at that. We fly past him, look back over the shoulder, and there he goes into the dirt. We've destroyed a Peshka PE-2 Series 87. We've shot down one of the bombers, finally. They thought they could get away, but they didn't. But yeah, if I ever go Patreon, you guys will be able to like give me feedback on what rewards you'd like to see, because after all, it's only voluntary, and I'm gonna be listening to you guys, because ultimately it's you guys that will end up supporting me. Now, there will be a clear distinction. You're not gonna be my boss or anything, but I will accept like inputs. I might do a regular Q&A, for example, where Patreon supporters can get to ask me questions, that sort of thing. You know, make it like worth your while. Provide a service in return for your support, instead of just being there and getting paid, which to me doesn't sound like a bad idea. But I want to make it worth something to you. I want to give you something in return. I don't want to just take your money. Although, of course, I would be very grateful, even if it's just $1, you know. $1 helps. Every tiny bit helps. Anyway, I think we're about at the end of this discussion. Like, That's like most of the behind the scenes things that I can think of right now. There's also things like making thumbnails, etc., which just take a little bit of time, but I usually do that when like a video is rendering or uploading, so it doesn't take that long. Descriptions, etc., doesn't take all that long either. Yeah, we're about done, actually. I think that's all about that I can really think of right now. I've informed you guys about how long it generally takes to do a video. Like, Hearts of Iron might take a little less. From the Depths will probably take a bit more than the estimate. How much time I spend on Twitch, and the amount of total time invested, etc. Now, because this AA is a little bit annoying, we're gonna go in for a strafing run. We're gonna try and kill these guys, although I think we might have landed a good hit or two, but we don't take the gun out, which is annoying. There's more tracers flying through the air, which is cool. Like, I love it. And then, that's another bomber. He's coming in to land. We're rolling around. And we're coming on his tail. He's already got wheels on the ground, so we're only gonna get one run at this. We've got him lined up. And we've definitely hit him. We've also hit the ground, though. Yeah, nice strafing run, and we fly a little bit too straight. Oh my god, there's supposed to be a wing there. We've just been shot down. Quickly, we're spinning out of control. Jump out. Oh, and there goes our Focke-Wulf. It's in a spin, and it's going down. We sort of needed that wing, but yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay in the background. There's a Focke-Wulf falling to the ground. I might do a series on this game eventually, but that depends. Like, I'm not sure if it's something for the channel. I might start with House of the Dying Sun, which is a space flyer. So, we'll see about that. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please do leave a like down below. Leave a comment if you have anything to say. And until next time, watch out for AA. Have a good one, folks.